In western Norway, in the end of Veafjorden, you will find a quiet village. If you point your finger at the inner end of Veafjorden in western Norway and let your eyes follow the shoreline, you'll find a small place called Stamnes. It's the kind of village you don't stumble upon by accident. You arrive because you meant to, or because someone from here told you to come. Mountains rise straight from the water. The fjord is a mirror when the wind rests, and most days the soundtrack is just gulls, a distant boat, and the soft knock of waves on rock. This is a film about a small community at the edge of a big landscape, a place where the fjord still shapes life, and where old stories still have footprints on the ground. If you like to keep some distance to the usual tourist traps, this might be the place to visit. The fjord. Before roads were reliable, the fjord was the road. Everything moved by water people, timber, sand, fish, stories, often to Bergen, which is not that far away. Even today, that logic still makes sense. The fjord is how you understand the map here. It tells you where homes gather, where boats tie up, where the shop are, and where work used to happen. Stand on the quay on a quiet morning and you can imagine the old days when the boats slipped out at first light, returning with money and news before the evening set. Skipshelleren, Stone Age, breath in the rock. Not far from here is Skipshelleren, a big rock shelter, like a natural roof carved into the mountainside. It holds traces of people who lived here back to the Stone Age 7,000 years ago. If you've ever held a rounded stone from a beach and felt its weight, you already understand something about time here. Slow, patient, shaped by water, and perhaps ice. Skipshelleren is a reminder that this coastline has been home for thousands of years. People found shelter, food, and a way to read the tides. The fjord has always provided, if you listen closely enough. You can visit this place today, if you come to Stamnes. It is open for everyone, always. Just take a short walk whenever it suits you. Laksegiljer watching for Atlantic salmon on its way to Voss. High on the rocks or standing on stilts above water, the laksegiljer or salmon lookout huts are a rare sight. You will probably only find them in this specific location. Imagine sitting there from dusk to dawn, spring to autumn, scanning the sea, the net set, waiting for the flicker of movement below. It was tough. Skilled work, mostly patience, part weather and part knowledge passed down. These huts are a huge part of the local culture, not just timber. They're a memory of how people met the fjord on its own terms and drew a living from it. Some of the salmon were eaten by the fishermen and their families, but most of it were taken to Bergen and sold. Fun fact, you can actually still get a guided tour on one of these today. Mountains close, roads narrow. Why, that's a feature. Drive here and you'll notice it quickly. The road is narrow, the curves are honest, and the mountains don't step aside. Some call it a bottleneck. I call it character. It could be both, actually. It's part of why this place stays quiet. The landscape decides the pace. Roads will not sustain heavy traffic, so both heavy industry and tourism is low. In summer, when light lingers and the air smells like grass and salt, that steady pace feels like a gift. It's like an escape from the busy world we live in. Kallestad Sundet Bridge span to Osterøy Island. The Kallestad Sundet Bridge links this shore to Osterøy across a ribbon of tidal water. It has its own story plans that reach further, a road that never quite arrived and so the bridge stayed, a graceful line between two pieces of rugged coast. Even if the roads never connected to the west side of Osterøy, the bridge is today connecting Osterøy to the mainland in Vaksdal. On windy days, you can stand there, watch clouds, race up the fjord, and feel the whole structure hum. Sometimes, the best viewpoints aren't mountains, they're human lines drawn across water. Quite often, people park on the middle of the bridge and just enjoy the view. You get a magnificent lookout point towards Veafjorden. Everyday life. Shop, school, kindergarten. For visitors, the drama is cliffs and water. For the people who live here, the heartbeat is quieter. The joker shop that is almost always open. The schoolyard at lunch, a kindergarten coat rack with tiny boots. Small places run on trust. On neighbors who wave, on someone who checks in when the weather turns, on a number in your phone you can call when you need a hand. It's ordinary, and that's exactly why it matters. Hesjedalsfossen, falling water, summer Sundays. Not far away, water throws itself off the mountainside at Hesjedalsfossen waterfall. It's one of those places that looks like it was made for photographs, and on warm days, people come to dip their feet and breathe in spray that is covering the road. Hesjedalsfossen is the final drop of the protected Hesjedal watershed, where water that has traveled through mountains and valleys finally meets the fjord. Maybe the most photographed spot around here, a gentle reminder, river currents can change fast. If you swim nearby, read the flow, keep company, and be careful. Nature and fresh air, Veafjorden, and summer joy. If you climb the valley from Øyan toward Gavatnet, the forest thins, the view opens, and you get far away into nature. This is just one of the remote valleys you can escape to. On a still summer day, the lake is a postcard and the shoreline a picnic. It's the kind of place you remember in winter when the wind is from the north and the coffee tastes even better because you've earned it. If you want to cool down before you get back into your car, you can take a dip in crystal clear water at Hesjedalsfossen, a local swimming spot in the river just beside the parking lot. Veafjorden, wood to the city. Long before logistics became a word, people here moved what they had to where it was needed. Timber was work. And the Veafjorden tells that story. Small boats loaded with wood, rowing and sailing the long way to Bergen, the city out there. It's hard to imagine until you feel the wind in the fjord and the pull of the tide. Then it becomes simple. Get the job done, get home safe, and bring back a story for the evening. Today, this wooden boat is used for fishing and local events. Small-scale rib, quiet visitors, big smiles. Every so often, a rib boat skims in with visitors from far away. They don't come in crowds, they come to feel the air, hear the echo under the cliffs, and leave with wind-tangled hair and a grin they didn't expect. This is tourism that fits the fjord light touch, big memory. People come from all over the world to escape from everyday life, for vacation, for anniversaries, and even to get married on the fjord. Small-scale tourism. The big cruise ships are blocked out from these fjords because of the bridges. Summer, fish festival, togetherness. In summer, the village offers its best version of itself. Flags in the breeze, a festival by the water, laughter that carries across the quay. If you want to understand a place, see how it celebrates the ordinary. A good catch, a new season, neighbors meeting again, and hey, everyone is welcomed. Consider this an invite. It happens every last weekend of July. Why small places matter? Stamnes isn't a shortcut on the way to somewhere else. It's a small, quiet destination on its own. It chooses its pace and asks you to do the same. Tired of big city chaos? Want to wind down on your trip? Here, the fjord still writes the calendar. Mountains set the margins, and people make a life in between. If you come, bring good shoes, a respectful curiosity, and time to wander around. The rest, the light, the water, the silence is already here, waiting.